For the first time in 3 years, Triple H actually works a match on Monday Night Raw. A major injury happened to one of WWE's top stars. And what exactly happened between The Undertaker and Shane McMahon. And also, guys and gals, an unbagging video at the exact same time we do this week's Monday Night Raw review. Hey, YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
Oh, hey folks, this is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're watching WGS-TV. Tough guy.
Greetings, YouTube. You have warped your way back into another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I am the WrestleGamer, Double B, Bully Boudreaux. And what we're going to be doing today, guys and gals, going to be doing two things. First off, I have a WWE.com shop order to unbag for you guys. And it's only one item. It's a t-shirt that I ordered last week when WWE had a big $15 sale on WWEshop.com. So I'm just going to quickly unbag that. And we're going to do the Monday Night Raw review. But before we get started, let me introduce my co-reviewer this week here on the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV, the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
You can do unbagging, but you can't do teabagging on YouTube because that violates terms of service.
Well, that pertains to what's going to be happening in the WGS arcade, ladies and gentlemen. But when it pertains to the Deadpool game, trust us, when it comes out, you'll understand exactly what we're talking about. But before we get started, let's go ahead and unbag this one. And I got to say, it's one of my favorite Divas. This is probably the first ever Divas shirt. And I wouldn't... Normally when, you have the classification of Divas, you kind of think of, the eye candy type. And I really... To me, I think that would probably be a derogatory term to describe Asuka, in a sense, because she's such an amazing talent, and she's really, really good in the ring. And so I went ahead, and I believe she's in a tag team match with Bayley this week on NXT, if I'm not mistaken. So I went ahead and I ordered an Asuka t-shirt. And technically, this is also my first NXT t-shirt as well. And, of course, it would have to be one of the best female talents I've seen in quite some time. It's the Asuka Tomorrow Brings Danger t-shirt. It's an amazing graphic of Asuka on the front. Really well done on the artistry. And on the back, you guys can see the Tomorrow Brings Danger, and I would assume with the Japanese lettering that's on the back, it translates to the exact same thing of Tomorrow Brings Danger. So this is a really, really good t-shirt, and I gotta say, Lance, for a $15 purchase, this was a really good purchase.
Yeah, only $15 a day, because I've seen some of them that go for a lot.
This John Cena shirt I'm wearing cost me $5.
No comment.
With that being said, guys and gals, go ahead.
John Cena sucks. No comment.
Oh, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so we completed the unbagging. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get the review started. Now, we would open up with with the tag team title match, the New Day taking on Rusev and Alberto Del Rio. One thing I gotta say, very quickly, my thoughts about Roadblock. This was basically just a glorified house show with, and the way they advertised it, you're supposed to have like, oh, there could be major implications about WrestleMania, and nothing like that happened whatsoever. It was just basically a glorified house show. But I gotta say, the best thing from that show, Lance, was the Bootio segment with the cereal with the New Day. I could not stop laughing at that. That was hilarious. You didn't like it?
To me, I'm not. The New Day just makes my head hurt.
But it was, for one thing, what we can take away from what happened in the match, basically the New Day would end up picking up the win. As I bring up my notes, I should have had that already up there. It was Xavier Woods doing the schoolboy on Rusev and holding the tights, so the New Day retained the Tag Team Championship. And then after the match, the League of Nations, all 4 members of the League of Nations, beat down the New Day. So there are a couple of things we can take away from this. For one, they really are building on this angle between the New Day and the League of Nations, and one would think the climax of the storyline between these two teams will more than likely happen, Lance, at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, they've been working this for what, a month and a half, 2 months maybe, since Fastlane.
Yeah, and not only that, but also on social media, there have been like digs and jabs at each other. So WWE is really using all of the avenues at their disposal to build on the storyline between New Day and League of Nations. But I'm really interested to see what happens next, and in what particular direction do they go now with this angle. Speaking of that, Dean Ambrose would come out to kind of talk about what happened at Roadblock, and I was having a roadblock even thinking about the name. But then the IWC's favorite superhero, Brock Lesnar, would come out, and basically you kind of figured the day after Roadblock they would start doing more of a build towards their match. And one thing we have to say when it pertains to the storyline, Lance, never give a lunatic fringe a crowbar.
Well, and then you gotta wait till what he was giving as a gift later that night.
Yep, backstage, Mick Foley would make a surprise return to Monday Night Raw, and he, as a present, basically said it was a passing of the torch. If you guys remember, one of the signature weapons of Mick Foley, aka Cactus Jack, back in the day was the barbed wire baseball bat named Barbie. And I gotta say, for those of you who did not recognize that, then you're basically probably just a wrestling fan who's just been watching for maybe the past 2 or 3 years. But for fans like me and Lance who've been watching it for as long as we have, to see that signature weapon make a return to WWE, and especially in the hands of Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, and if you followed Moxley's career in CZW, you know what the crazy crap he can do with weapons like that. I gotta say, Barbie and Dean Ambrose, Lance, it's a perfect fit.
Yeah. Wow. Brock might be the Beast incarnate. Nothing beats Dean when he can throw some deathmatch in there.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they work the match at WrestleMania, to say the least, because then you have Brock Lesnar, with this persona of the Beast incarnate. He's this badass. But by the way, why did they just call it Suplex City when he does nothing but German suplexes? Why don't they call it German Suplex City? But then again, I could kind of see the problem, because then people will go, "Hi, Lesnar," and stuff like that. So I can kind of understand why they wouldn't do it in that fashion.
And it just don't roll off the tongue as well. But
to me, to if you want to, the originator of that type of gimmick, in my personal opinion, Lance, is Taz, the human suplex machine. And if you really want to have a gimmick where you are supposed to be a master of suplexes, you can't just have one suplex in your moveset. You have to me, my personal opinion, you have to have a variety of different suplexes. But if WWE wants to play it that route, then that's on them. Give them a hand and give them a cookie. Ryback and Sin Cara. Lance, did Sin Cara just look a little bit weird in that all black attire he had last night?
I was like, when did Evil Sin Cara show back up?
Yeah, wasn't it like Sin Cara Negro? Not that.
He said it. I didn't. He said it. I didn't.
I wasn't trying to say that word. I was trying to say the Spanish word they had for the color black. Negro. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, it was kind of. And if you remember, Hunico, it was Hunico that was Sin Cara Negro to begin with, and I gotta say, when they put Hunico in from Mystico, I gotta say it was a better improvement in my personal opinion. But it was basically a big build, I guess, inception of the storyline for the United States Championship between Ryback and Kalisto, because even after the match was over, Ryback would get on the microphone and said, "This is what a good big guy can do to a good little guy." Now, would you say at this point in time, Lance, that I wouldn't call it a full heel turn for Ryback? The vibe I get from it is tweener.
Well, first off, I think we figured out why Ryback's hungry all the time. He's stoned because he just called himself a good big guy. And two, yeah, he's starting to move towards that heel side, yeah. Tweener with more heel tendencies.
Yeah. Now, first off, Stephanie McMahon, a little note to you. You don't welcome fans to Monday Night Raw at the end of the first hour of Monday Night Raw. You do that for your opening segment, not at the end of the first hour. That's kind of dumb to do it at the end of the first hour. But it was basically a setup for what was going to be a matchup between Triple H and Dolph Ziggler, and I'm going to talk about that when we get to it. Because basically it was cut and dry what that was. It was a setup for their match. And like I said, this was going to be the first match that Triple H has worked one-on-one on a Monday Night Raw in 3 years. And in my personal opinion, he needs to have these warm-up matches. He needs to work these one-on-one matches to basically get himself back into shape for WrestleMania. Because if he goes into WrestleMania and works a terrible match with Roman Reigns, that's going to be on him for not being in the proper conditioning that he needs to be to work a proper match, Lance.
Oh, definitely. And I said this on the HWR, or on the other podcast I'm part of, review we did last night, that I personally think the main reason they did this is so Triple H could test his stamina in ring-wise. Because there's very few people that can last longer in the ring than Dolph Ziggler, and at a high pace nowadays.
Lance, let me ask you this question. Do you feel that the main roster is better now that Sami Zayn has made the move up to the main roster?
Well, I'll put it like this, in the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Sami Zayn, great talent. He was wonderful in NXT for 2 years. In fact, he was one of the reasons why I got into NXT to begin with. He was always a great in-ring performer, great on the microphone. He does all kinds of amazing moves. In fact, last week on NXT, worked an amazing 2 out of 3 falls match with Samoa Joe. It was just absolutely amazing what they did there. And now that Sami Zayn has been bumped up to the main roster, it is by far the best move WWE has done. And Zayn worked, first off, whenever Kevin Owens is on commentary, Lance, I kind of cringe because,
yeah, he ain't the best color guy, but I do disagree with what WWE is doing going towards WrestleMania.
Well, that might change when we talk about that point in the show. But Zayn would end up hitting the Helluva kick on Miz thanks to the distraction by Kevin Owens, so Sami Zayn would pick up the win. But like I said, when we get to that certain point in the show, we'll definitely discuss that a little bit. Brie Bella and Alicia Fox taking on Team Bad. First off, whenever Lana's on TV, I'm happy. Enough said.
Okay, hang on. In theoretical, it's theoretical here. Lana versus Oksana, would you be happy?
Yes, I would, because it's Lana. And that's all I'm going to say. Lana can outshine the ugliness of Oksana. But again, I'm still wondering, the current direction they're going to go with this angle between Brie Bella and Lana, because we're still yet to know if Lana is actually properly trained to work a match. Now, last week we saw her do the Bella Buster on Brie. She didn't, and it wasn't bad. It was actually, for her skill level towards that, it was actually pretty good. So maybe she's getting some training somewhere. I'm not exactly sure who's training her, but it would look like they're doing an okay job with her. But as far as this match would go, a unique finisher by Team Bad. I don't think I've ever seen it before. A combination power slam neck breaker on Brie Bella. So Team Bad would pick up the win. So that's one thing you got to take away from that, Lance. It was a unique finish.
Yeah. Granted, with the whole wonder if Lana's being properly trained, hell, that didn't stop him from bringing Eva Marie to the main roster, did it?
No, but they've since bumped her down to NXT, and whenever she's on NXT, they boo the crap out of her.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, why was R-Truth in a penguin outfit last night?
It's R-Truth.
Enough said.
Enough said.
That's
my
all.
Bad. My bad, y'all. That's on me.
The Golden Truth segments have been by far one of the most comical things I've seen out of WWE in quite some time. If Lance, if you could message James on Skype, and if he wants to come in on the review, we can let him on. I gotta say, other than what they did with the Social Outcast and their Burger King promo with the hot dogs, which
make no damn sense at all.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. By the way, WWE put out a quick YouTube video. They were doing this whole app where the face swapping app, and they did it with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. And I swear to God, Bo Dallas, when they did the swap with Bo Dallas's face and Husky Harris, Curtis Axel's face, he looked like Husky Harris, Lance. And basically, it looked like a skinny Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
But they would as we welcome in James from the Big Easy to this week's Monday Night Raw review. James, how you doing?
I don't know. I don't know how to explain anything.
That's what she said.
I think that's also the perfect explanation to the Golden Truth segment last night on Monday Night Raw with R-Truth in the penguin outfit.
Yeah. Would you be my penguin, Billy?
Oh. No.
Or would you rather be the duck?
I think we need to have a talk after this review is done, James. And
Shucky ducky quack quack.
The Usos would end up taking on Bo Dallas and Adam Rose with the Dudley Boyz. And first off, I completely forgot that this whole Dudley Boyz Usos storyline was still going, to be honest, because it basically really hasn't brought that much attention to the actual angle in itself. But the matchup wasn't really that bad. One of the Usos hit the Samoan splash on Bo Dallas to pick up the win, and so that's basically right there, cut and dry. There's only nothing else to say about that one. But what? Go ahead, James.
I was gonna say that after Raw, Renee Young put on Facebook that the Usos will face the Dudleys at WrestleMania.
So it's just gonna be a straight normal match, no gimmick, no stipulation.
Nope. Well, they might be thinking of one, but for now, no.
On to what could be possibly considered best match of the night this week on Monday Night Raw was Dolph Ziggler and Triple H. Hashtag Triple H versus Dolph. This was an amazing match, especially when you take the caliber of talent involved in the matchup in itself, Lance, as Dolph Ziggler and Triple H, and the way the matchup went, and the match drama in there, and all the close finishes they had every time, whether it be for Triple H or Dolph Ziggler, really kept fans on the edge of their seat. And that's really a type of match, Lance, we haven't seen in quite some time on a Monday Night Raw.
No, because it's usually about a 5-minute in and out. This thing was what, 25, 30? how a match should probably be. Not, hey, you do something, then 1, 2, 3, out.
But what followed that really, really added to the storyline of Triple H and Roman Reigns. And for some reason, Roman Reigns' return to Monday Night Raw is a trending topic on Facebook. Go figure. But I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, Roman Reigns' return. By the way, he returned from the staging area and not through the crowd that he normally does. But we haven't seen pure chaos in quite some time on Monday Night Raw than what they did with Roman Reigns and Triple H. The fight that happened all over the arena, and the fact that Triple H got, I don't think they even were planning for that, for him to get busted open the way he did on the side of his head like that. And it happened when Roman Reigns threw that case at him, and then the backstage fights, which again we haven't seen in quite some time on a Monday Night Raw.
I think the last time we seen something like that was Brock Lesnar Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I gotta say, it was a great way to bring back Roman Reigns, and a great way to really add some fuel to the fire of the angle between Roman Reigns and Triple H, James, wouldn't you say?
It does, really. Is that, really, here's the thing. You think about this, none of them really had momentum. Well, except for Triple H. Triple H has momentum going from Roadblock. But with Roman being out, it's like, how do you try to create more into that storyline with Roman Reigns being out with a quote-unquote nose injury?
I gotta say, the final blow during that fight with Roman Reigns cracking that TV on the back of Triple H was a great way to finish it, and also a waste of a good TV monitor. I'm just saying.
TV lives matter too.
That poor TV monitor.
Now, Chris Jericho and Neville, first off, turning Chris Jericho heel. By the way, Jericho, whenever he's a heel, he's always at his best. Creatively, physically, in the ring, whenever Chris Jericho is a heel, that's when he's at his best. And prime example, look back to Thursday Night SmackDown, when he burned the Y2 AJ shirt. And that close-up angle that they've had of him, just with the fire blazing and him just evilly chanting AJ Styles. That right there. James, did you see that?
I got to watch it after work, but it's really interesting with that one. It was interesting.
Yeah, and again, whenever Jericho is heel, creatively, that's when he's at his best. And when I saw that, to me, that was pure creative gold right there by Chris Jericho. Because I guarantee, WWE couldn't have thought of something that good when it comes to creative. That, to me, personally, I believe, came from the mind of Chris Jericho. And that's really a way to add fire, no pun intended, to the angle between Y2J and AJ Styles. But to this match, first off, Jericho, whenever he gets on the microphone, he does his best to gain heat from the crowd, and he definitely did that. Especially every time he gets on the mic and tells the crowd to shut up. You had your chance to chant for me, but you chose to chant for AJ Styles. But one of the things that was really weird about the match last night is between him and Neville was the way that the matchup was so abruptly ended. And from what a lot of these sites are now reporting is that Neville suffered a really bad injury. From what the reports say, Neville attempted a baseball slide at one point in the match, ended up rolling on his ankle, and he still tried to finish the match from what they said, because there was a moonsault, but it was right after that Jericho realized, because if you go back on the video, and I've seen it, you can see him mouth the words to Charles Robinson, "He's effing hurt." So they had to abruptly end the match up the way they did. James, have you heard any further information when it pertains to this horrifying injury of Neville?
Yeah, somebody did put a slow-mo replay how he landed actually also. Let's say that. I think he's gonna be out for a couple of months. Let's say that he's gonna miss Mania. It's not just an ankle, but I think it's something else. they're like in that calf area, but like in the front, I think. That's what I heard.
When the shin, I heard it was the shin.
Yeah, shin and ankle injury. Yeah, fractured shin and bad ankle injury. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Which Lance goes to what we were going to talk about, especially when it pertains to the Intercontinental Championship storyline, because the way it originally was going to start, you would get the figure that, fatal 4-way, and I know that you even said it yourself when I was talking to you on via Skype last week for SmackDown, that you said that it should be just one-on-one Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship, but now they were going to add the Miz and Neville, and from the way it looks now, especially when it pertains to that injury, Lance, Neville will not be making WrestleMania.
Yeah, let's just give Miz an awesome send out of the card and make it what will blow the dang roof off of Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, because that's pretty much the smartest crowd of the year. And they will remember the names Zayn and Owens, or they really remember their indie names, El Generico versus Kevin Steen, and that will blow the damn roof off of that stadium.
Definitely. I have to agree with you there. Now, the main event segment of Monday Night Raw this week would be the confrontation between Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, and The Undertaker. First off, the golden line of that whole segment right there, James, is Shane McMahon basically calling Undertaker Vince McMahon's bitch. That right there was pure gold.
You call Undertaker Vince's bitch? Man, I tell you, you're gonna pay for that big time. Really, it's that you need to add on the heat for Undertaker. If he's playing the role as McMahon's person to basically remove Shane out of his life completely, that's the main person you need. But you need the heat on him, because basically he's still a very likable character. I mean, he kind of played that heelish character when he had his feud with Lesnar since Battlegrounds with all those low blows. But it's just like, you need to add heat to it, and that's how you have to do it.
Did anyone notice the botch that Shane had on his promo? Like, he was telling The Undertaker, you're going to throw a punch, and I'm going to miss. Did you guys catch that at all?
I kind of caught that, but here's the thing though, Shane McMahon's been out of the company for 6-7 years? So
yes.
His promo skills is still kind of rusty.
Well, they're not that rusty, because when he made his initial return to Monday Night Raw, and then what he did last night, it's still up to par. But again, Shane, we're only human. We're all prone to make mistakes, from time in and time out. And a huge mistake would be like me saying I like Oksana when I don't. Lance he's got his hand on the trigger right now, don't you, Lance? I gotta say though, the way they would end it, Undertaker chokeslammed Shane McMahon, then Undertaker would look at Vince McMahon. McMahon probably soiled his Depends underwear, and then got out of the ring in the weirdest way that I have ever seen him do, Lance. Basically, it wasn't even a proper way to get out of the ring. He just basically collapsed face down onto the mat and just rolled out.
That was, fuck it, I'm out.
I don't blame him. When you got a guy like The Undertaker staring you down, I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Overall score on Monday Night Raw this week is going to get 3.75 out of 5. This was a really, really good Monday Night Raw, and I got to say, first off, I'm going to give props to Chris Jericho and Charles Robinson for recognizing the injury to Neville and the way they were able. And we didn't even discuss that. They brought back AJ Styles, and are they really going to make the springboard flying forearm? Now they're calling it the phenomenal forearm. Is that going to be his signature now in WWE? Are they getting rid of the Styles Clash? That's
That's the same thing with, like, you think about it with Samoa Joe. They don't give him the muscle buster. He has to use the Coquita clutch.
he used it last week on NXT. He used it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. As I said, well, I think Styles Clash is gonna be more of your maybe once in a while type move. You're not gonna see it like often as his finisher, basically.
But I gotta say, hands down, best match of the night is definitely gonna go to Dolph Ziggler and Triple H. It was a great work match, but the worst segment of the night, I'm sorry, it's R-Truth in a penguin outfit. What? All I'm gonna say is WTF.
You don't like a penguin? Shame on you.
Lance, over to you, your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week.
Overall, 3. Best segment. I gotta give it to the Golden Truth segment because it was funnier than hell. Best match was Triple H versus Dolph Ziggler with an addendum or an add-on to the ass whipping Triple H took from Roman Reigns after the match.
Oh, definitely. Like we said earlier, it was an amazing way to add fuel to the fire. You know, you're bringing back Roman Reigns, and you only have a short amount of time to build into the angle between him and Triple H. And man, they got a huge jump start on that from what they did last night on Monday Night Raw. James, over to you, your overall score and your segment, your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw.
I would say I give it a 3 out of 5. The best match has to be Ziggler Triple H. I mean, Ziggler, you know, he's a hard worker, and fighting against the COO/World Heavyweight Champion kind of helps him in the matter. Kind of see what his WrestleMania plans are going to be. Is he going to be also part of the Intercontinental Championship? Because remember, you also have to, if you have to add the Miz, you have to add Ziggler because he's technically still feuding with Ziggler. I mean, he's still feuding with Miz. Worst, I'll give it to a segment. I'm kind of a little. Well, no, the worst match I gotta have to go with Team Valor versus Team Bad. I'm kind of really intrigued how they're doing this. Are we actually going to see a 6 Divas tag match for Mania? With Lana being her first match?
Who would be the third diva on Team Bella?
Paige.
Would it be
because you think about it, they did a segment backstage with Paige to an interview. Lana comes in, Team Bad comes in. So you have to think that Paige is going to be that third diva. With Nikki still out with a neck injury, you have to.
And not only that, we really haven't seen Paige work a lot of matches ever since she came back.
Exactly. Really, she's more your now jobber diva because really they don't have much push. If she's having heat, she don't have that much push anymore, like she used to when she first started.
Definitely. Well, anyway, guys and gals, what we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? We definitely want to know what you guys out there have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck bowling cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, and every Wednesday night I go live with Lance Moss TV and friends. Don't know who's going to show up, but y'all follow on over there and subscribe if you hadn't, and hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV.
James from the Big Easy is on Twitch.com. James, where they can check you out?
It's twitch.tv, not .com. If you put .com, it might take you somewhere else.
Well, like I said earlier, we're all human. We're all prone to mistakes.
You fucked up.
Twitch.tv/FatBoy504. I do PS4 gameplays. I'm thinking of maybe getting another game soon to do and then start going back on Twitch. I've been on hiatus for a long while due to work and other stuff. But whenever I have the time, I will go on Twitch. I'll do some PS4 gameplays. you see me do WWE or like any sports games, or heck, if I get the new game, you might see me play it. I don't know which one yet. So stay tuned.
Don't forget to check out the WGS Arcade every day at 9 a.m. Central Time. Current game in the arcade is Deadpool. And for those of you who are wondering, is the game just as insane and awesome as the movie? Yes. Yes. So check it out for yourselves every day, 9 a.m. Central Time. And always, guys, wrestling reviews the day after their shows, like we're doing today, the day after Monday Night Raw. We're doing the Raw review. So don't forget to also check out those. I'll have 2 videos in the annotations at the end of this video for you guys to check out as well for your consideration. So with that being said, for the incomparable Lance Moss and Lance Moss TV and James and the Big Easy, I am the Wrestle Gamer, Double B Bully Boudreaux, and I will see you at the next Warp Zone. Bye, guys. Has regenerative. Oh, hello. Holy. Oh, that's a pair of nice views.
We probably know.
Agree with us is that Bella has not been medically cleared by WWE officials as we speak, but she does the Bella